Welcome back to the D4 channel. I'm your boy Hamid Mark. It is just me today in Narita, Japan. I am here resting my old legs while my counterpart explores Japan for me just for the day. I do feel like Darth Maul, with my robotic legs, which, well, I should say I wish I had robotic legs. Now, why do I mention Darth Maul? It is because we are getting a new series just about Maul. But before we get to that, please like and subscribe to the D4 channel for all your Star Wars entertainment news on this side of the YouTube galaxies. Like, subscribe, do all that. Comment. We will respond to all your comments in the comments below, no matter if they are in the light side of the Force or the dark side. Please do all that. But without further ado, we are going to talk about Maul, the Shadow Lord, and we're going to talk a little bit about the entire animation panel as well in Star Wars Celebration. The only panel me and my partner were able to go to was the Andor one, so we weren't able to attend any of the other panels, and we only went for one day. We only went for the Saturday. So everything I am talking about now is what I've read online or seen footage of other Star Wars channels or YouTube videos. And the people at the panel, first of all, before I get to Maul, I will also say that the people who were blessed to be at the animated panel were shown one episode of Tales of the Bounty Hunter, which deals with Asajj Ventress' point of view and Cad Bane, which is very cool. They've been doing these Tales of stories at Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, and now Tales of the Bounty Hunter. And the first episode explains what happens to Asajj Ventress after the events of Dark Disciple. Now, a little spoilers for that book, but in the end of Dark Disciple, she dies. She gets murdered by Count Dooku, and the book very much says that she is dead, and she was dead for a minute in the book. And she was buried on her home planet of Dathomir, which we all know from the Clone Wars and other content that they are a covenant of witches. So death, rebirth, life, all that stuff is nothing new to the Dathomirian witches. But the book clearly said that she's dead. Obviously, if you watch the Bad Batch, we saw her return in the Bad Batch for a minute and basically let us know that you'll figure out what happens to her in other content. If you watch our channel, you know my opinions of her return in the Bad Batch. I'm not a big fan, mainly because I am a huge proponent of canon. Everything should matter. Books, comics, games, everything should be one and one, and nothing should override any existing media. Now, saying that, I love Asajj Ventress. I mean, who doesn't? And Star Wars is not a stranger to bringing back, dead characters, aka Maul, which we were going to have a whole new series of them. So, according to Star Wars Explained, the explanation of why she's back will make sense. Hopefully, I will like it. It will not retcon the book, so it will just be an addition to this is why she's back. Okay, fine. And she's a Night Sister, so if it's a good explanation, and more importantly, if it's a good reason on why she's back in terms of storytelling, because if you just brought Maul back just for the sake of bringing Maul back, it wouldn't be great. But the fact that you got so much good stories with Maul because he was able to be brought back, if they're able to do that same thing with Asajj Ventress and there's a lot of more payoff down the line, then I'll be fully on board with her resurrection. But let's talk about Maul. Maul finally gets his own new animated TV series. And one thing I'm excited about, which Sam Witwer, one of my most favorite people on this planet when it comes to Star Wars, as much as my brother loves Hayden Christensen, I probably love Sam Witwer just as much, even more. I loved him since the Star Wars Force Unleashed games. I loved him in that vampire show he was in, and I love him as Maul. Oh my god, I'm so excited that they're doing a Maul animated show, Maul, the Shadow Lord. It takes place, I believe, a year after the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith, after he survives Order 66. If you watch the Clone Wars, you know that Maul's back, and he's been amassing power in the underworld scene. He is the basically the crime lord for all these syndicates, and that's the only way he could get any kind of power because Palpatine cast him aside. So I think we're gonna see Maul navigating this new environment with now his master ruling over everything, the Empire. Sam Witwer said as much. There's a few questions that's going to be answered in this show. One, how does he feel about the Empire? Did he know about the Empire before everything began when he was the apprentice of Lord Sidious? How does he feel about it? How does he feel about all the Jedi finally being gone? He was a tool for the Sith to basically wipe out the Jedi, a blunt tool. And now that they're all gone in one fell swoop, how does he feel about that? Does he think that everything he did in his life was wrong? Does he miss Kenobi? Because at this point he thinks Kenobi is dead. So he knows he can't beat the Emperor, and his only real goal or real attachment to anything in this world or in this galaxy has been Obi-Wan. So how does he feel about that? And if he will train a new apprentice, will he find someone who is a force-sensitive kid or maybe like teenage person and train them in the ways of the Force and train them in a way where he tries to get them to the level where he thinks he could challenge Palpatine and his new enforcer, aka Vader? Also, if you've seen Solo, you know that he's still running with Crimson Dawn. And then more importantly in Rebels, we see his tail end where he is abandoned on Malachor. At that point, I believe he lost all his power in the underworld. And so he only has one goal left now to make himself feel any kind of purpose. Find Obi-Wan Kenobi and kill him. And at the end of season 2 on Malachor, as Ezra and his gang are trying to find the holocron, Vader is approaching and he senses him. And he says a line that most people don't. And again, if you watch our channel, you know my opinion on this. But he says a line that would be a throwaway line to anybody. I cannot fight Vader alone. Now, if you remember Clone Wars Season 7, his whole plot in that whole Mandalorian arc with Ahsoka going there was to lead Obi-Wan, and more specifically Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One, to Mandalore to kill him, believing that Anakin was the prominent tool for all that Palpatine will bring. And so he's met Obi-Wan many times. He's never met Anakin Skywalker. He doesn't know how powerful Anakin Skywalker is. And it's funny too. Ahsoka mentions while she's fighting Maul in season 7, you're lucky Anakin didn't show up. The fight wouldn't have lasted that long. And he said you have your master's arrogance. You have Kenobi's arrogance. So he actually thinks he could beat Anakin Skywalker, aka Vader. So the only way he knows he can't beat Vader is if he actually went and attempted it. Now in the Clone Wars, Palpatine knew he returned, but he allowed him to play a little bit in the galaxy to cause more turmoil until he got a little too much power, and then Palpatine had to take him down a peg or two. Now that he's survived, Palpatine will probably learn of his survival, and as he gains more power in the underworld and in the galaxy at large, Palpatine will probably send Vader to take him down a peg again and finish the job. And knowing Maul, he probably would think, all right, this is when I can finally, stick it to my master, and he will probably get his butt whooped. I don't know how many seasons this series will run, but I am fully expecting or hoping that we see that confrontation between Maul and Vader. That would be very cool. I would love to see it live action too if they did something like that. But if they show it any which way they show it, I need to see Maul fight Vader and get his butt kicked. So I'm very excited for that. Maul, Shadow Lord, new animated series in the classic Clone Wars Bad Batch animation style. Oh my god, I can't wait for this series and the show to come out. But you let me know what your thoughts of Maul Shadow Lord is in the comments below. Is Maul one of your favorite characters in Star Wars like mine? You let me know in the comments below. And as always, like and subscribe to D4 channel for all your Star Wars entertainment news on this side of the YouTube galaxy. And as always, I'm your boy Hamid Mark, and I'll see you guys next time. May the Force be with you always.